Hello, cubs, and welcome back to my cozy den. We are, of course, still loitering away here at the retching netch as we continue the story of the real Barenziah. So grab yourself a drink from the bar and pull up a bench by the fire, as it is time for Volume 4. They settled into Riften for the winter, taking a cheap room in the slums. Barenziah joined the Thieves' Guild, knowing there would be trouble if she were caught freelancing. One day in the barroom, she caught the eye of a known member of the guild, a bold young Khajiit named Ferris. She offered to bed with him if he would sponsor her for membership. He looked her over, grinning, and agreed, but said she'd still have to pass a test. "What sort of test?" she asked. "Ah," Ferris said, "payment first, sweet thing." He put an arm around her, leaned over and kissed her, thrusting his tongue deep into her mouth and his free hand into her shirt. "Nice," he said presently, withdrawing his tongue, but not his hand. His other hand slid down inside her waistband and fondled her rear. "Let's go upstairs. We can use my room." Barenziah felt both embarrassed and excited by his boldness. Ferris grinned insolently. "Why bother? You want me, don't you? I'll bet you'd pay me, wouldn't you?" "No," Barenziah said. She did want him, but not that badly. "No? Well, a bargain's a bargain, and Ferris keeps his word. But here, now." He hiked up her skirt and pulled her onto his lap so she sat astride, facing him. He opened her shirt and pulled it down on her shoulders so that her chest was exposed. "Nice pair, kid." She was facing the wall, but she could feel the stares of the other patrons. A hush had fallen over the place. Even the bard had stilled. She felt both nausea and a hot, burning desire. Her hand released his turgid member, and then it was inside her, and she was screaming in both pain and ecstasy. Then everything went black. When she came to herself again, she was sitting beside Ferris, who was buttoning her shirt. "That hurt," she said indignantly. "Always does, kid. Didn't anyone ever tell you about Khajiit men? It hurts good though now, doesn't it?" Barenziah scowled at him. She was still smarting. His member had tiny little barbs on it. "Well, the deal's off, if you like," he shrugged. "No, I didn't say that. Only I prefer privacy. And I want to wait a while, like a day or so before the next time." Ferris laughed. "You're okay, kid." Straw was going to kill her, and maybe Theris too. What in Tamriel had possessed her to do such a thing? She cast an anxious look around the room, but the other patrons had lost interest and gone back to their own business. She did not recognize any of them. This wasn't the inn where she lived. With her, it'd be a while, or never, before Straw found out. But Theris was by far the most exciting and attractive man she'd met yet. He not only told her about the skills needed to be a member of the Thieves' Guild, but trained her in them himself, or introduced her to people who could teach her. Among these was a Nord woman who knew something about magic. Katisha was plump and matronly. She was married to a smith, had 2 teenaged children, and was perfectly ordinary and respectable, except that she was very fond of cats, had a gift for certain kinds of magic, and cultivated rather odd friends. She taught Barenziah an invisibility spell, and trained her in other forms of stealth and disguise. Katisha mingled magical and non-magical talents freely, using one to enhance the other. She was not a member of the Thieves' Guild, but was fond of Theris in a motherly sort of fashion. Barenziah warmed to her as she never had to any woman, and over the next few weeks she told Katisha all about herself. She brought Straw there too. Straw approved of Katisha, but not of Theris. Theris found Straw amusing and suggested to Barenziah that they arranged what he called a threesome. Indeed not, Barenziah said, grateful that Theris had broached the subject in private. He wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. Theris smiled his charming triangular cat smile and sprawled lazily back in his chair, curling his tail. You might both be surprised. Pairing is so boring. Well, would you mind if I brought a friend? Yes. If you're bored with me, you and your friend can find someone else. She was a member of the Thieves' Guild now. She found Theris useful, but not essential. Maybe she was a bit bored with him, too. She talked to Katisha about her men problems. Katisha shook her head and told her she was looking for love, not satisfaction. That she'd know the right man when she found him, and that neither Straw nor Theris was the right one for her. Barenziah crooked her head to one side quizzically. They say dark elf women are something? Prostitutes? You mean promiscuous? Although some do become prostitutes, I suppose. Elf women are promiscuous when they're young. You'll outgrow it. Perhaps you're beginning to already, Katisha said hopefully. You ought to meet some nice elven boys, though. if you keep on keeping company with Khajiits and humans, you'll find yourself pregnant soon enough. Barenziah smiled involuntarily at the thought. I'd like that. But it would be inconvenient, wouldn't it? Babies are a lot of trouble. And I don't even have a home yet. How old are you? 17? Well, you've a year or two yet before you'll be fertile. Unless you're very unlucky. Elves don't have children readily with other elves even after that. So you'll be alright if you stick with them. Straw wants to buy a farm and marry me. Is that what you want? No, not yet. Maybe someday, if I can't be a queen. I think Straw will be a very old man before someday comes, Berry. Elves live a very long time. Cattish's face briefly wore the wistful look humans got when contemplating the 1,000-year lifespan that elves were entitled to by nature. True, few ever actually lived that long, as disease and violence took a toll. But they could. I like old men too, Barenziah said. Well, there you have it. I don't know about you, Cubs, but I've certainly learned something new about Khajiit today. So, yes, we will leave it there, and I'm going to go and try to find some eye bleach and forget that fun little fact involving barbs. But until next time, stay cozy, Cubs.